And now for our next match on the main card. Fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 63.4 kilograms, a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Melbourne, Absolute MMA, Aaron Maher. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 63.4 kilograms, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Port Kennedy, Taurus, BJJ, Josh Stolton.
This one is from my one and only true love, Princess Peach. Peach, you're so cool. And with my star, we're gonna rule. Peach, understand, I'm gonna love you till the very end. Peaches, 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 peaches. Oh, yeah. Peaches, 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 peaches. I love you.
Where did he get peaches from?
Oh, I have no idea.
I should have asked him at the press conference.
Should I? We'll ask him if he wins.
Yeah.
The more, I don't know Peaches too well, but the more I see him, the more I like him. Every time I see him, I like him a bit more. And we're going to quickly get underway. He was really impressive in his last outing as well, Josh Stolton.
Yeah, look, he took on Daiki at short notice, and I think that takes a lot of guts. So Daiki's, he's very good. He's up back here again as well. So
you can see even just from Adam's structure, you can see there's a very competent wrestler in there straight away. He was just trying to off balance him before and just make him off step. And there we go. There was a little bit of that there.
He really flung his leg back with that one to actually get the extra weight behind, but Peach is going for his own snap down there.
Yeah, and that is so important in good wrestling, you know what I mean? Actually off balancing your opponent before you shoot, either making a misstep or, lose.
Yeah, you got to cycle through a couple of things, especially when people know what they're doing. Oh,
yeah, what Aaron Maher just did there was absolutely fantastic. It was almost like a drag through, which basically offset Peaches, and he was able to access his back. Beautiful work, and then that roll through again.
Wow, he's really locked those hands together and is able to move through these positions while his hands are locked. It's a bit like what we saw from Narek with Ray. He really locked those hands, and it's hard to get out of it.
Peaches on the attack now, though. That just changed at one point there where the control wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, and he had to start backing up. Peaches started chasing him.
And Peaches has got this just beautiful body dynamic where he's just literally all core.
Yeah.
And, unless you're like considerably stronger than him, he's gonna find his moments.
It's really hard to hurt, going for something like leg attacks on someone like Peaches. The ability to clear the knee is so quick and so easy.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to get certain submissions on him with that body type.
Yeah. Look, he makes it work for them, doesn't he? Honestly, every time I watch him, I get more and more impressed. He's very aggressive, really hard to submit, and he's technical as well. There from the drag back, that position there, that's normally you've got a bad time in front of you there, but he managed to make it work for himself.
Yeah, and got straight back up to his feet as well.
Absolutely.
I think tonight we've seen a really good display of people who are willing to get straight back up to their feet rather than concede a bottom position.
Another lovely little shoot through there to ankle pick. Did you see that? I really do appreciate good wrestling. And he's trying that now on a regular basis, almost just trying to pull Peaches through so he can pick up a leg or arm drag.
He's creating a lot of movement so that he can pick things up on the way through or change his position. See how he just shuffles out as he does the snap down. He's not staying in front of him. He's actually moving to the side, or he's making Peaches move off to his side.
If you're watching at home and you want to be a better wrestler, then that's, Adam Maher's got some good technique. Beautiful work. Peaches nearly surprised him there, and a little bit more, he might have actually been able to just dump him from that position. Aaron just defended well enough.
This has been a great wrestling exchange.
Yeah, absolutely. Both men doing real good. Great work by Adam Maher.
Again with that clamp around the body and rolls through. And he's managed to get a seatbelt here with no hooks in. They're going to reset.
Yeah, it's a really effective move from that position, because you can use your hip weight to swing them over the ground. I use it a lot myself, to be totally honest with you. You've just got to think about where your position's going to be, because sometimes you can fall with your hooks on the wrong side, And you want to fall with your hooks on the inside, but it's not always possible. Beautiful instruction by Mickey in the corner there. Just tell him to twist Peach's spine, remove his power base.
Yeah.
And he's looking to creep up on his neck there. We've got 7 minutes remaining right now.
Peach is staying really calm and collected here, just defending any arms coming through. I think Aaron's really looking for a bit of a handcuff there on his hand to collapse him down, but Peaches is just staying really strong, not allowing him to get a wrist grip.
He's going to go for the half rear Nelson here and turn Peaches over, and that move is a horrible, horrible move. It doesn't really matter what you do. Once you apply it, you're going to turn over.
He's got, so Peaches doing really well. He just swims that hand out of the handcuff and just mitigates it.
Aaron's got his neck. He isn't underneath the chin, but it's across his face. And Peaches comes out again. Yeah, there we go. And there's the half Nelson again. He's just going to push his head towards
Aaron must have a really good clamp with his legs, his thighs here, because if Peaches were to turn, he probably could, if he felt like he could probably toss him off. But I would imagine that the feeling from Aaron's thighs right now is that if he tried to toss him, it wouldn't work. He would just roll with him and end up in a just like that.
Yeah, it's difficult position to toss from there.
Yeah.
And Aaron now takes it back.
Yeah, a cross-body control like that, not the two hooks, but the one that's secured on the far hip while you've got the seatbelt on the other side. It's so hard to hard to manage.
And he's going to squeeze Peaches' face here, and he's not going to be shy about it. There's still 5.5 minutes left. He's going to continue to apply that pressure.
He's slightly off to the side here, and so it's allowing Peaches to sort of make it through. It's not quite under his chin.
Peaches does a good job there. That's the thing, you've got to be prepared to really cause someone damage there, and not all the time people are prepared to do that, Yeah,
and look, if you've got enough of an angle, you can sort of tough through some of the pain because it's not quite choking, if you're off to the side. And Aaron secured a really strong mount out of that transition.
And he's in that head and arm position. Peaches telephone him, but it can be difficult depending on the level of pressure the person can apply. Peaches is incredibly powerful, so he's given himself
really
a bit of space.
Elbowing back, giving that neck some space, but it's tiring and...
I think Peaches will get through that.
He made it through that really well. He was really calm and collected through that. He gave himself the space he needed just to turn the body.
4 minutes, 20 to go.
And we've got that Gable grip body lock again from the back.
This is one of my favourite positions. You see this a lot in high-level UFC fights, particularly along the Dagestani fighters. It's just a position which is incredibly difficult to get out of. It leads to a lot of energy drain and movements, and you don't actually...
Because you can really compress the ribs with it too, especially if they start coming up, and you just drag, like he did, drags them back down onto their bum, and you work on the hooks after. If you've got a really good body lock, it's kind of like it's on par with the double underhooks from the back. It's while the person might not be worried about a choke imminently, it just gets them to a really hard position.
Once you get to a certain level as well, the ability to finish people with one move reduces. You might get someone with the odd thing, you know what I mean, but it does reduce. So actually wearing people down, using that energy draining techniques, that is super, super effective. You make people quit essentially, and you can see that's a big part of Adam Maher's game. But I don't think Josh Stolton's going to quit. I'll be honest with you. I think he's going to be going for the full 8 minutes.
And look, every time I've seen Josh have a match or fight, he just keeps going. He keeps going and going, and he doesn't look particularly bothered in these sorts of things, especially when you would think he might be under a little bit of pressure. He doesn't look bothered, and he finds himself out, his way out of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful work. He needed that as well. He
Yeah.
needed to get his guard back there, and now he gets an opportunity to work. And Aaron has to be careful. You know, Peaches there could have threw his legs up, and then, you know, if he'd carried on through, he might have found himself in a little bit of trouble. Looking to isolate his shoulder. Dig underneath. Just looking to isolate that shoulder.
He's got quite a strong hold on that shoulder there. But
Yeah, and he just pulled the arm out just in time before it was secure. He's still going to keep pulling on it. He's going to look to come out the other side, pull her across the top. Yep. Josh defends. Peaches sits up. He's not choking him there. He's just putting
now
pressure on him. Yeah.
he's going to open himself up because he's sat up a bit, and Aaron's managed to get a body lock low on his hips, and he can start setting up a bit of a body lock pass.
Yeah.
Especially once he opens his legs like this, Aaron's going to start pressuring down on that
pass,
on that one side and look to come over the top of those hooks.
Yeah.
Although
Aaron was trying to step over the knee now, trying to pass by coming over the knee.
Yeah. It's really hard to secure Peach's knees though.
Yeah, it is,
like getting past it is one thing, and then having it come straight back once you've actually passed it is another thing too.
Yeah. It's been a great match, Joe, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Really absorbing, really high level technical ability.
Aaron really driving with his head here to try and secure the pass. But Peaches is using his frames really effectively just to keep the pressure off him, to stop him advancing in that pass. And we're back to the guard position.
Peach is looking to try and come underneath. You imagine if he connects his arms in those positions there onto your leg, he's gonna really be able to pull you over if he can get there. It's just getting there for him has been a bit of a problem so far.
I think what Peaches is probably finding hard about this position in particular is I know that he'd probably like to go for like a K-guard type entry, but Aaron's keeping himself so low, and he's got that body lock on him, so he's not posturing up to give the space that he'd need for like a leg entanglement. Peaches is just having to sort of go for the arms.
It's got a couple of options. You've obviously got the sweep, which is the most common option from there, but there's also cut and arm bar attempts that you can go for as well. I think Peaches would probably be using it to sweep more than anything else, Joe.
I'm not sure I've really seen much by way of like arm bars and triangles from Peaches. I don't know if it's particularly his style. Like I said, I think that he would be looking for more like a K-guard type entry. But having said that, when you're versing an opponent, sometimes they do lend themselves more to certain submissions, like the arm. Like he might be waiting for that. See, he's got an overhook here, and that could open him up to shoot a triangle or an arm bar.
You got to work with what you're given, really, as well. I mean, like sometimes there's just options that aren't there. You got to work with what's available.
Yeah, look, I think fighters do themselves a bit of a disservice when they're trying to find a particular area or submission that the other person just doesn't go to. And you spend the whole fight trying to get it to a certain area that's just never going to go to.
Peaches is just so able to extricate himself out of potentially damaging situations. He's able to recover his guards so well.
His recovery in these positions is so impressive. And it must be really frustrating for someone like Aaron, because he just wants to solidify something and he can't.
Put you flat, Adam wants to put you flat. Back take
in the last second.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work by both gentlemen. It was a really, really high-level performance, Joe.
I really, really liked the way they moved through those positions. His back taking there was phenomenal. Peaches
Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous. I'm falling. There's no escape. I can't wait. I need a hit. Baby, give me it. You're dangerous. I'm loving it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by judges' decision, fighting out of the blue corner, Aaron Maher!
With a taste of your lips, I wanna ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping away. Taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do. Don't you know that you're toxic?
Peaches,
Every time I see you compete, I start to like you more and more. Yeah, honestly, yeah, such a game, it's such a competitor when you step out on the mat. The technical level that you show and displayed against the face of basically the wrestler I want to be when I grow up is just absolutely fantastic. Talk us through about your thoughts about the match.
I didn't really perform very well, but congrats to Aaron. He put on a good game. Brought the game that basically just shut me down, so I couldn't do anything that I wanted to do. So, congrats, buddy. Well done.
Peaches, anyone you wanna think about for the next competition? You're just gonna get back into training, see what happens next, and take it from there. What are your thoughts?
I was going to say Daiki, but after that performance, probably not. So, no, just get back to training, get back to the drawing board, just get some hard training, and then just see what happens next.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a cracker of a match, yeah. So please give it up for Josh Peaches Stolton. Thank you very much. As I said, the wrestler I want to be when I grow up. Talk us through your performance there. Some of that was just such high level wrestling, and your grappling as well was fantastic. But talk us through your thoughts about that match and where it went, and was it what you expected it to be?
I didn't expect him to wrestle with me as much, and he plays a collar tie on the side that I'm less used to dealing with, so it made a bit of an awkward wrestle. And I didn't expect him to put me in close guard either, so that made it a bit weird as well. So it didn't go anywhere to plan, but I'm happy I won.
He's a unique problem, is Peaches, is he not? And I think you get a bit of that with your coach over there being of similar dimorphic dimensions. Sorry, you've been giving him absolutely loads about this chewing gum. I was going to get you back. Trust me, you're very welcome. So Aaron, what's next for you?
I mean, I'm very good friends with Daiki, and he's really the only other 65 guy. So I don't know, Kamal was saying he could talk with George and try to get another high-level Asian, like 65 competitor out, because, yeah, I don't know if me and Daiki should have a match, because we train so consistently together every time he comes out to Melbourne. And I know George has said he doesn't really want that either. So, yeah, if not Daiki, another maybe high-level international guy that's an actual 65. Yeah, that'd be good. If George is cool with it.
I'm sure he will be. Sure the boss won't be up for it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for an absolute performance from Maher.